Hey, we back at it. We back again. Tuned in to Real Rap. Kane Team. Thanks for coming through. This video right here is something that I talked about I was going to do probably a couple of weeks back. Um, this video is about the um the homicide numbers in Philadelphia for this year for 2020. Um, right now, as of 12 midnight last night, the 7th, or what's the day, the 9th? So the 8th. Homicide stood at 465, right? Um, but you still got 21 days to go, 22 days, whatever it is, 22 days, I guess. In a year. Um, there's a lot of different things that's fueling this, right? So you already got a historical city, historically, who's had high homicide numbers, right? Historically, the city has always had a high homicide number. Um, Before the Chicago stuff that has been infused in them. Philadelphia historically has been the largest when it comes to big cities. And I think big cities is deemed anything over 1 million in population or 900,000 population, something like that. Has always had the highest homicide rates out of the big cities. You know what I mean? So we're talking Chicago, LA, New York, um, Phoenix, which is, their numbers are fudged, but Dallas, Houston, stuff like that. Um, and that's because out of all those cities, Philadelphia is historically the poorest, right? Historically, Philadelphia is the largest, poorest city with the lowest poverty levels. Uh, that's because a lot of that is because of the population of African American and Latinos, right? Um, in another video that I did, I was breaking down how North Philadelphia is the largest section of Philadelphia, and it's also the poorest section of Philadelphia, and that's because it has the highest percentage, population percentage wise, of Black and Latino. Um, then when you mix things like, Philadelphia up north type city, um, it had the same kind of setup, right? It was an industrial place. It depended on the factories. So, when the factories were there and it was at the height of the industrial boom, even the black population had more middle class. Um, because the factories and all that, they paid good wages. So with the closing of that, and the Caucasians, the white people moved out of the city and they moved to the suburbs and they relocated with jobs and stuff like that. So then, in places like Germantown, right, in places like where I'm from in North Philly, um, places closer to Broad Street in North Philly as well, that was heavily populated with white people, right? So when those factories and all these things closed down, the white people abandoned their homes, left their homes, moved, and the black people pretty much moved in, and the Latinos moved in, and they moved into a dire situations. There was no steady employment, so people relied on the streets, whether it was numbers, prostitution, gambling, drugs, um, and that status quo has remained. It hasn't changed. Um, they're trying to bridge that gap. They're trying to bring more jobs, and more types of jobs for people who live in the impoverished communities that they can qualify for. They're trying. I mean, it is not an overnight fix. Um, but now when you mix that with the pandemic and people who did have jobs, that they probably just barely getting by with then, um, so they lost those jobs, and um, the heroin and opioid epidemic is at an all time high. I mean, I can't speak for any city, but I know for a fact it's not even debatable that Kensington has the number one open heroin market in the country. It's not even close. I mean, people think of Baltimore first, but it's not even close. Um, Kensington is like Amsterdam for real from The Wire. Like, that's Kensington. And Kensington is not a small section. You know what I mean? Kensington takes up a nice piece of North Philadelphia. You know what I mean? And then Kensington bleeds into the Badlands, and so it's a definitely a bad setup and bad situation, which is we have all these underlying factors, which is fueling these homicides. You know what I mean? Um, so when I mean another piece of the puzzle going back to the pandemic is that when they gave out the pandemic assistance, um, people looked at that as a short term solution, which it is. Um, so that really became what it was. Like, okay, when this runs out, what I'm supposed to do? So then it became, okay, plan B with this. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it on the street. I'm gonna buy what I need to buy to protect what I'm putting on the street. And that just fuels it. That's just another variable that contributes to something that was already historically a problem. You know what I mean? Um, it's crazy because a friend of mine, we on the phone, we're talking about it, and he's looking at me. He's like, "Hey, man, ain't no difference. I think it's worse now than when we were growing up." And I'm like, "It's not." And we talking 80s. You know what I'm saying? When we're kids playing football and running around, going to corner store and all that. I mean, it's the 80s. It's the early 90s. You know what I mean? And the highest homicide rate in the city, the highest homicide number has been like 500, 501. It's a good chance that that is broken this year, but that's the highest it's ever been is 500. And that was like 91, I want to say. In 91, he's looking like, nah, you lying. I said, nah, bro. The difference is this: we were kids. We just running and playing football and messing with girls and whatever we try to do. So we wasn't really exposed to it because it was different rules then. People actually abided by a code. So it didn't impact us the same way. You know what I'm saying? We 9, 10, 11, 12 running around. Like we ain't got to worry in the world. And actually, it was more dangerous then. Because it was a lot more money on the streets. It was a lot more. Anybody that know. That 80s money, that 90s money, is nothing like that. It was a lot more on the streets. It was a lot more going on. There was a lot more violence. It just seemed like it was more contained because of the demographic it involved. So when I'm breaking it down to them like that, I'm running through the homicide numbers for these years that we can remember. Like we remember 87, we remember 86, we remember 88. Like, you know what I'm saying? We outside playing, running back and forth across the street. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling him what these homicide numbers are, and he's like, bro, I didn't know it was that high. I said, because we didn't fall within the demographic of who that affected. It's not like today where it's like they got no picks. That's what make it feel worse today. It's like they ain't got no picks. You know what I'm saying? So I said, in the day, you fall within a demographic or where it can happen to you, where you feel like it can happen to you. So now you're more on guard, you're more aware. You go about protecting yourself accordingly. You know what I mean? So that's why you feel the difference. And he's like, damn, you know what? You're right. Not to say it's not bad. I said, because when you look at what was fueling it in the 80s and 90s, it was the crack era. That's what fueled that. What's fueling it today is the opioid and heroin era. So when you look at it, it's always a drug that's propelling these numbers up. There's always something that's a variable that it's not just poverty. With poverty comes crime. Not because people necessarily, people wake up and aspire to commit crime. No, people trying to figure out how I'm going to survive. My kids is hungry. I'm hungry. I ain't got that many options. So what's the alternative? The alternative is the find a way to get some money. And it's probably going to be something illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like every era had its thing. The 70s had the numbers and the cocaine. You know what I'm saying? They had the cocaine and they had the numbers. Weed, I ain't really heard nobody really bugging off of weed. You know what I'm saying? Juice or something like that. Okay, they smoke the dipper. Okay, that's something different. But coke and numbers, and that's when the heroin began to hit. You know what I'm saying? Which bled into the 80s, which bled into, okay, cocaine. Then they start rocking it. Crack rock, ready rock, bass, whatever they want to call it. That's what fueled that then. So it's always a narcotic. It's always an illegal substance that's fueling this. But it's funny how it's only in our neighborhoods. Why? Because we disenfranchised. We impoverished. Somebody in my comments asked me to touch on the drug dealers who are supplying the drugs and doing this and doing that. And I understand your comment. And you're right. And I'm not saying one evil is better than another. Evil is evil. I'm not here to play devil's advocate on that. But I'm also not going to sit here and be a hypocrite either. Then it wouldn't be real rap if that's what I did. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's glorifying anything. No one's doing that. But we need to understand why what's happening is happening. And the reason is because people are still impoverished to the levels they are. People don't see a way out. I had a conversation with an old head like 3 months ago. And he from up King of Prussia. You know what I'm saying? So he had family down in Philly, so he would come down and spend a week here, a weekend there, whatever. So he doesn't understand the full gravity because you in and you out. It's fun to you. You hit the city. Hitting the city is fun when you're not from the city. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? Especially a major city. When you're hitting a major city, it's fun as a kid when you're not from there. Totally different when you're there every day. It conditions you a different kind of way. A way that you can't understand because you didn't have to survive there day to day. You didn't go to school. Had to navigate how to get to school, to get home from school, what to watch for. Like, you didn't have to worry about those kind of things. You there going in auntie house or grandma's house or your cousin's house, running around, go get a cheesesteak, go get a water ice. You back on the road going back for 30 minutes or whatever west. You know what I mean? And that's that. Which is not a problem. So he's asking me like, yo, why is this mind frame the way it is? And I'm telling him, like, yo, it's not because people want to be that way. It's a survival thing. Because one thing is all you see. You don't see anything else. So he asked me a question when he says, but why they don't look up the role models? I said, who's the role models they're supposed to look up to? He points to the TV. He's talking about the LeBron Jameses and whoever else, an athlete, entertainer. And I said, because it's not reality. He said, what you mean? It's on TV. I said, because when they go outside, that's not who they see. I said, I'm speaking for myself because I understand it. Me growing up, TV was whoever was on TV, it wasn't like it played in my mind of that could be me. You know what I'm saying? Now, going to school, the teachers know what you was going back into, so they taught you we had real black history. Why? Because these teachers knew that they had to try to mentally get us to understand that there's people of color who have done great things in this country and in this world, and that we can be that person. And they knew that's the only thing they really had to combat what we were going home to. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what he didn't understand. Is that, yeah, we may hear these stories of, Will Smith or Paul Richardson or Wilt Chamberlain or whoever left the city and got on TV or did some great stuff. I say, yeah, but the problem is half these people we can't touch. You know what I'm saying? They come and stand on stage for an hour in the auditorium and act like that's supposed to mean something. No, when I go home is when it means something. Who can I reach out and touch when I go home and I see in my neighborhood what I see? Because the people who I see who doing all right ain't on TV. If they on TV, it was a bad day for them. You understand what I'm saying? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So no, these are the average people we're going to glorify, or the people that we identify with and we want to be like, because that's what we see more of. That's what we see with the cars, the women, the clothes, the jewelry. Taking the kids on the avenue and buying everybody sneaks. That's the people we see doing this. We don't see the athletes going to the block, scooping everybody up and taking them to the sneaker store. That's not what we see. So that's not reality for us. You know what I'm saying? That's the bridge people need to understand. It's not people always say, oh, they made a choice to do that, or they choosing to do that. It's like, no. It's normal. Because that's what you see. You see it in your house. The average kid sees it in the house and out the house. That's their reality. You understand what I'm saying? Just like the kid who grew up, probably in the burbs or on the outskirts, and that was his reality. His reality was clean streets, no gunshots, no ambulances. You could be whatever you want to be. You have no limit. You have no ceiling. That was his reality. But our reality was, don't nobody make it out of here. They don't care about us here. We disenfranchised. We vagrants. Don't nobody care about us here. So we're going to make it do what it do, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? That always has been the part of the mindset. That's always been part of the conditioning. And unfortunately, with that comes violence. And unfortunately, it's just a part of the game. But we really need to figure out a way to decrease it. You know what I mean? And another part of what I touched on before was the number of women that are being killed. Because dudes are co-signing and allowing them to be a part of whatever they got going on that they shouldn't be a part of. Like I asked that question before. When did we get away from protecting the women, man? When did we get away from being able to offer a woman more than just sex and money? Like, I'm telling my peoples this, man. Educating them. Like, yo, that don't make you no man. That moment you decide that that's your wife, that that's your girlfriend, yo, I don't use certain words, and certain words to me mean family. That means I got you. I'm responsible for you. So certain words I don't take lightly. I don't take the word friend of any sort lightly. You understand? People use terminology and don't understand the gravity of the meaning. Friend is an extension of your family. In a lot of cases, somebody you call a friend is closer to people in your family. Because you're around them more than you're around your actual family. You understand what I'm saying? So, when you decide that you want that woman to be your girlfriend, you want that woman to be your wife, and you want to live with her, you want to create a home with her, your responsibility is more than just sex and money. Your responsibility is also education. You understand what I'm saying? You better understand that, man. Y'all need to cut that out, man. Another good, and I got a lot of stories, man, and I'm not trying to story y'all to death, but there's a whole bunch of scenarios that I have and people that I don't encounter, and from various places. You understand what I'm saying? And my barber, he used to cut my hair in the last spot we was at. He used to cut my hair. And he say to me, he say, hey, man, like my girl, we going through something. Like, I don't understand her mindset. I didn't know she was not even fully developed in this area or developed at all, where I'm like starting from scratch. Just like I got to build her. And I'm like, hey, yo, bro, that's part of our responsibility. I said, unfortunately, sometimes we get dealt that hand. But the reason for it is you looking at her with this frustration and aggravation. I said, you gotta look at the men that she encountered prior to you. Whether it's her, because she got a kid father. You know what I'm saying? She had a son, so she got a son father. So what did he offer her besides penis? What did her father offer her besides, oh, my little princess, or was he there at all? You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at the men who failed her prior to you. Because that's what's common. Because these dudes don't even know their real roles, man. They don't even know what they really here for. They don't understand what their true purpose is. The sex and all that is a byproduct of the relationship y'all form. But that education was what's supposed to happen first. That's what's supposed to take precedence. Because if you're not here no more, you get called above or below. What are you leaving her? What kind of tools are you leaving this woman with to navigate this world so she don't fall victim or prey to somebody who won't mean no good for her? No, you're not doing your proper thing. So now she's still mentally somewhere going to feel like she's dependent upon a man. So she's going to take what comes. She's not going to do no vetting the way she's supposed to do vetting. It is not no she's supposed to know. No, it's the reason you're a man, huh? So you want to tell the same thing to your daughter? You going to let your daughter, oh no, my daughter supposed to just figure it out? No, it's no different, man. We supposed to lead the household, man. We supposed to be leaders of the house, man. That's our first priority, man. Everything else is secondary, man. That leader, I'm a king of the castle. All right, well, that comes with a lot of responsibility, man. And one of them is protecting these women to make sure these women ain't out in the street getting their hair blown off, man. You supposed to teach your daughter this foolishness of what these games men play so she don't fall victim and prey to a dude who, at the end of the day, is probably like you. That part. I don't be around people with them kind of beliefs, man, of nutty time, thinking that that's their job. They supposed to offer a woman is just sex and money, man. Or half these dudes just offer them sex. They don't even got no paper for them. They can't even pay for the eye doctor. Damn, she got contacts. No, I can't pay for them Jones. Can't even pay the co-pay for at the doctor. But you the king of the castle. Come on, act you out of pocket, man. Go that way, you out of pocket, man. But you run in the streets committing all these treacherous Jones, and that's a bad John. That's a bad John. Every day, all day, man. That don't make you no man, not even close. Let's get back to principle, man. Let's get back to principle, man. Let's get back for stand for something. We got to stand for something, man. Let's get back to that. It's quite depressing that we're not on that kind of time no more, man. Everything for the gram. Back in my day, it was no gram. I don't know nothing about no gram, man. Gram now, I do this. I got this promoted on the gram. I don't got nothing else to do on the gram, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get back to something, man. We lost the way out here, man. We definitely lost the way. And these homicide numbers is reflecting that in these cities, man. Like, every city is up. It's not just Philly. Like, Chicago at like over 700 right now. The only difference between Chicago and Philadelphia is that Chicago like doubles the size of Philadelphia. And there's not a large disparity in them homicide numbers. So we had the same population and then the difference with Chicago is that Chicago homicides and violence is really restricted to like four zip codes, man. That's what majority of their drama go down at. It's like 4 zip codes. Philadelphia, the whole city is a wasteland, man. It wasn't always like that either, though. The violence in Philadelphia used to be very segregated. Very. You could say north, south. That gave you two biggest pools. Like, Philadelphia is always going to have the largest homicide number because it's the largest section in the poor section, like I said before. Then it was South Philly. Then you had little pockets in West and Southwest and here and there. Then it was in pockets. Now the whole city is just... Somebody asked me the other day, Hey, I mean, not downtown. No, it does happen downtown now. People getting shot on the platform and something, man. Getting poked, getting stabbed up, and all that, man. Downtown, they used to be like a green zones, so to say. That was like a zone of, yo, our beef is, we cross each other, we'll handle that beef back over there, my man. No, now it's like wherever I see you, it's on, it's up. No matter where it's at. I remember being a young boy, and it's crazy. It's crazy how fragile our minds was, and how we didn't think that we could really be much. Because our idea of making it out was moving up the boulevard. 3 miles. 3 miles away. That was our thoughts of, damn, all I want is a crib up the boulevard, man. All I want is a crib up the bully, man. I'm good, man. I made it. You see how low our mind state is, or what we can be, man, because of our circumstances? Man, y'all better pick up what I'm putting down, man. You dudes spending all this day online gossiping about this dude and that chick, man. There's some real stuff going on out here, man, that need to be addressed, man. And you dudes got the platform to address it. That's the crazy part. You dudes got 100,000, 200,000 followers and all this. Like your video up, soon as it go up. Like that joint hit 100,000 in like 10 minutes. But y'all spend all this time on here talking about this foolishness, man. What you here for? I'm here for the babies, man. Because like I said before, my generation dropped the ball. So now I'm trying to do what I can do to recoup. Because then it was a domino effect. Because another thing, at me at 11 years old, I couldn't stand on the corner. I got body beat off the corner. Literally. No, what you doing out here? Boop, 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 boop. All in the body. Passion marks and strawberries all in the body. Getting beat off the corner. My mom ain't had to do that. No, the old heads on the corner did that. No, get from down here. What you tripping? You tripping. This ain't for you. And you better go to school tomorrow. My generation made it cool for young boy not to go to school and stand with me on the corner. My generation made that cool, man. Oh, you 12 younger? Come on, man. Ain't about nothing. Stand right there. You cool. Here go a pack, nigga. Go burn it, nigga. You up. My generation did that, Let's recoup. Pay the dues for that, man. Pay the dues for that, man. We owe for that, man. We owe for that. Stop getting online all day talking about this dude and that dude, and they up. Whatever they doing, man, they up. I made one video only because it was misinformation, and people glorify the wrong stuff, man. I don't glorify people because they got money, man. I don't been around I'm around billionaires right now, man. I sit there and people like, oh, he a billionaire. I don't care. What's his character like, man? We ain't cut the same. I don't want him to throw me no money. Is he going to throw me a cosign? Hey, yo, yeah, young boy right there. He all right, man. Yo, play with him, man. He got a little situation over there, man, that you probably could use. Like, he not doing that. So what's the relevance of me knowing this guy or sitting next to this guy? There is none. I've never been that way. I've never gone to you and talked to you because of how much money you had, man. If it wasn't some genuine, natural flow stuff, no, I'm not going out of my way to oh, yeah, what's up? You see me? What's up, man? Yeah, I'm right here doing jumping jacks. Man, you out of pocket, out. Come on, Dakita. Go that way, man. Stop co-signing people, man, or defending people because of what their bank account look like, man. Wrong is wrong, right is right. That's all I stand on. I'ma die this way. My mom stopped talking to me for 3 months because I stood on what was right, and she got mad, feeling like I went against my brother for the streets. That's not what happened. I stood on what's right. He lied. He lied to you. You emotional. I'ma stand where I stand, and I'ma stand where I lay. That's what I live by. I don't live by nothing else, man. If you can't understand that kind of talk, then get away from me. This ain't for you. This ain't for you. If you can't comprehend that, this ain't for you, This for the people who want to listen and want to learn and want to comprehend stuff like that. Let's get back to the real, man. Let's get back to the real, man. Right is right, wrong is wrong. That's all that should govern you in life. Nothing else should govern you. If that means that your relationship with somebody may not be what it once was because they dead wrong, and that's what it means, man. That means you ain't got a price tag on you. Because the first thing you come at me with is say, oh, that person got this amount of money. Or no, yeah, he cool though. That means you got a price tag on you. You only around that situation because you think you stay in the game financially. With me, I believe, as long as I keep it the same, it's going to come back around regardless. As long as I'm solid in my principles, I'm always going to be okay. That's what your old head should have taught you, man. I'm giving this out because ain't nobody teach me that. I had to learn this. This came with age. This came with maturity. This came with just being in the situations and going and having my hands in the mud. This knowledge came with that. Bumping my head against the wall, like, because all the old heads in my era went to jail. All the old heads that really probably had the game to give went to jail in 94, 95, 96. All of them was in prison. People took over the blocks that really wasn't ready to. That got sped up because of that. Look at it. Look at your own neighborhoods, man. If you come from predominantly black and brown neighborhoods, you know I ain't lying, man. Now, if you a 90s baby or a 2000 baby or something like that, then you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. But if you was born in the 80s, like earlier 80s and later 70s, mid 70s and all that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When that crack bill hit in 94, all the real old heads, they went to prison, man. Or they left. They fled. And the people that took over the blocks wasn't ready to take over the blocks yet. So it got goofy. Right? But it wasn't completely goofy yet. But then when my generation came and took over, because we didn't get the proper game the way we were supposed to, but we knew better. You understand what I'm saying? It was extra goofy. It was over goofy at that point. Now anything goes. Anything's allowed. It's cool. I'm going to bring a dude from outside the hood. I'm going to bring him down here, and I'm going to talk bad about everybody in the hood with this dude ain't even from here. And I'm going to try to let him do stuff and try to prevent. I'm going to let him do stuff here and try to prevent other people from here from doing it. That's what that became, man. Crazy. Another reason for the homicide numbers going up. It's all money related, man. But some of it is principle. But we need to get back to the real principles, man. This video was long overdue. I just keep watching stuff every day that influenced me to do this video right here. We definitely need to become more solid. Thanks for coming through. I appreciate you, man. Definitely, man, for spending that time with me, man. Please like, share, subscribe. Mess with me, man. That's what we're going to do here. All that other Jurassic Park circus stuff is over there, man. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it a buck of some change, man, over here, man. It's all the way up over here, man. Real rap. That's all it's going to be right here, man. I'm going to hit y'all back, man. I'm going to get back with y'all, man. I'm going to drop some more so we can keep vibing, man. Get in the comments, like, share, subscribe, man. Let me know what's going on out there.